So hello and welcome everybody to Open Cinema, where we connect the dots across time and space. So we are webcasting live from the Victoria Event Centre here on Vancouver Island, and we have a very unique evening about a very important and timely issue, election fraud in Canada. So my name is Mandy Leith, and I am the founder and program director of Open Cinema. Thank you. It's great to see you all here tonight. Before we go any further, I do want to acknowledge that we are here on unceded Coast Salish territory, and we thank the Songhees Nation for sharing your ancestral lands with us. So we are really honored tonight to host Ottawa filmmaker Peter Smoczynski, who has come all the way across Canada to show and present his work-in-progress documentary, Election Day in Canada, When Voter Suppression Comes Calling. And we are webcasting, and it will be followed by post-screening discussion, which will happen both live here in the room and online across Canada. So I'm really thrilled that there's so many esteemed and movers and shakers here tonight. It's very exciting for this event, for Peter and for Open Cinema. So we have a unique event here tonight in a few ways, and one of them is that filmmaker Peter Smoczynski has come across Canada to present a film that is still in production. We normally screen completed films here at Open Cinema, but for this film we couldn't wait. And here we are starting an election year, and so we felt that the time is now. So we are in for a real treat. Peter has put together an amazing presentation, and there are, I think, 3 goals for this evening. One is to raise awareness about his film, Election Day in Canada. The other is to contribute to an important conversation that we as Canadians need to have about democracy in our country, and we hope to contribute to that here in the room and live online as well. And the other is to help raise funds for Peter's film. We're in a new era of funding and film production, and so Peter has an Indiegogo campaign that is currently live, and we do have some volunteers who are actually here with computers to help you donate. You can do that in the break, and we also will be accepting any kind of cash or checks. After you've seen Peter's presentation, I'm sure you'll agree with me that we need to help him make sure that this film gets completed. So following his presentation, we will have a post-screening discussion after a short break, and we have some very esteemed speakers who are going to help activate our conversation about election fraud and democracy and fair elections here in Canada. Here it is again. So Bryony Penn is here. Bryony is a writer and naturalist and activist, and she ran in the 2008 election as a federal Liberal candidate in the Saanich Gulf Islands riding, which has since been referred to as Robocall Ground Zero. True. We also have here the journalist who broke the story. Andrew McLeod is here. Andrew is the current Legislative Bureau Chief for the Tyee. All the way from Vancouver, we have Dr. Anka Kessler from, she's a professor at SFU, and her research on electoral fraud has received the 2014 Nora and Ted Sterling Prize in support of controversy, or is that controversy? And Michael Vaughan has also joined her from Vancouver today. She's a lawyer and policy director at the BC Civil Liberties Association. Thank you so much for coming. And Elizabeth May did want to be part of this discussion, but she has been called to Ottawa, and so she will be joining the conversation on Twitter. She's already on Twitter, I'm seeing from my tweet chat team at the back, and we have a special surprise from her in a few moments as well. So whether you're here in the room or watching online from anywhere across Canada, we do invite you to join the conversation on Twitter using the hashtag ELXNFraud. And you'll see the tweet chat is up on the screen there, so you can actually see the close the loop between the live and the virtual. And we do have our social media team at the back facilitating that, our reporters who are helping to connect the dots. So one of the other unique features of tonight's event is that we have spawned 4 pop-up events that are happening right now in BC and Alberta, and maybe there are others. Let us know where you're watching from if you're out there on online. So we know that we have an event at the Mary Winspear Centre in Sydney. Hello, Mary Winspear Centre. And we also have an event on Cortes Island, organised through Cortes Island Literacy at Manson's Landing. And the UVic Political Science Department are hosting an event, which is actually a class assignment for them to be there tonight, thanks to Jamie Lawson. And also Grand Prairie Community College is hosting an event in Alberta. So welcome to them, indeed. So how many of you have been to Open Cinema before? Welcome back. For those of you who don't know, we are a non-profit since 2003. We have been using cinema as a tool for community engagement. And we believe that documentary builds community. For the last couple of years, we've been evolving and exploring ways to amplify our live events using online social media tools. And this is, in fact, the 5th in our experimental series of multi-city hybrid cinema events, which we call Connect the Docs. And it's made possible by the Canada Media Fund. So a big thank you to the Canada Media Fund for believing in our vision. So I want to say a big thank you to a number of funders and supporters who make these evenings possible. Van City, the CRD Arts Development Program, Creative BC, the Canadian Media Production Association, Hemp and Company, and our newest sponsor, the Canadian Media Guild, who has come on board as our webcast sponsor. And also, Open Cinema is a program of MediaNet. So just a note, a couple of things to let you know. Peter's film crew are here, and they're filming some shots for a behind-the-scenes making of, and they won't be taking footage of the audience, but they will be shooting around the room. So it will be fairly anonymous from your perspective. But if you have concerns, do speak to me and let me know. And we do ask that you have your phones off during Peter's presentation. We welcome your phones and your tweeting during the post-screening discussion, but while we're listening to Peter's presentation, we ask that you keep your phones off, please, except for the social media team at the back. And now I would like to turn our attention to tonight's event partner, Focus Magazine. I think I've lost audio there. Focus Magazine. Shall I keep? Yes, I know. I'm just looking for a few from my. Okay, so I want to acknowledge and invite Leslie Campbell from Focus Magazine to say a few words in a moment. But first of all, I just want to say that I'm sure that you can all agree that Focus Magazine is one of Victoria's treasures. Indeed. Indeed, yes. It's a vital, if I might say, ombudsman with integrity and vision, and one of the very few investigative journalism voices left certainly in our city and in our country. So we really are excited to be partnering with Focus Magazine tonight, and I would love to invite Leslie Campbell, the editor, up to say a few words.
Thank you so much. We are very, very proud to be a sponsor of tonight's event. This is a wonderful crowd that we have, and I see so many faces that I know, and I've met so many people who turned out to be subscribers already, so that's wonderful. I want to tell a little bit of the story about how this came to be, because Brian E. Penn has written for Focus for many years now, and she's a great writer, naturalist, and in 2008 she ran actually for federal election, and she learned firsthand what robocalls can do to pervert fairness in an election. So a few months ago she phoned David up and asked if we would be interested in helping raise awareness and funds maybe for a film she had heard about that was in the works. And so we jumped on board because it sounded so important to do, and such an important issue. So Bryony was definitely the spark for us, and then we got Open Cinema involved, and the rest is history. And Mandy, of course, has done an incredible job with her innovative approach to promoting documentaries. Documentaries are a form of investigative journalism often, and so we're happy to be involved with Open Cinema. I think I just lost the mic, and I have a soft voice, so you need to keep it on. But so we're very happy to be here. We're really impressed with how the organizing went. Sebastian Silva is another person I wanted to mention, because he'll be your moderator of the panel discussion tonight, but he's also been involved in some of the logistics, and I've been watching the emails flying back and forth, and just glad that somebody else is handling all that. One thing I did want to mention is that more and more, given the realities of the present day culture, the present day democracy, it's important for citizens to be very vigilant and very active, and for that you need to be very well informed. And in order to be well informed, you need a great, strong, robust, independent media. And so all of these things, Open Cinema, Focus Magazine, community magazines like Focus, and documentaries like Peter's, are going to need your support directly, not just through advertising and stuff. We can't always rely on that anymore, or sponsorships. So because of government cutbacks or small businesses having trouble. So I do urge you to support independent media in whatever way feels right for you. And certainly tonight, I hope you're inspired to support Peter's film, because it's really important. I mean, what could be more important than your right to vote? And that's what is being infringed upon by these robocalls and other voter suppression tactics. So thank you again for coming, and I think that was my 2 minutes or more.
Thank you so much, Leslie. So now I'm going to turn the proceedings over to our political correspondent here tonight to host and introduce Peter. Sebastian Silva is a moderator and facilitator and project manager who has been involved with this issue for many years, and so provides a great deal of experience and expertise. And without further ado, please welcome Sebastian Silva.
All right, how's everybody doing tonight? Good. We've got quite the show lined up for you tonight, and as Mandy said, my name is Sebastian. It's an honor to be able to moderate your discussion tonight, and that'll be my role, to field the questions for Peter, and then moderate the discussion with the panel and yourselves. So before we get going, we do have a bit of a welcome message for you. Okay, there's been a phone call. The venue's been changed for tonight. Oh my goodness. So no, folks, we're not going to have to relocate. You're in the right place. So sit back, enjoy the evening, and your welcome message.
Good evening and welcome to the victorious showing of Election Day in Canada, when voter suppression comes calling. I am working in Ottawa today in Parliament, and wish I could be with you. I will be available for Twitter chat as the event unfolds, so if you have questions, I can follow up that way. I want to thank filmmaker Peter Smoczynski for taking the task of bringing this story to film. It's my profound hope that this documentary can reach many million Canadians before the next election, so we can try to get to the bottom of who committed massive efforts at election fraud in 2011. Thank you.